death, Miriam, Myra, Christ made provision for two people as he was hanging on the cross. His mother, Mary, and his disciple, John. Woman, behold thy son. Son, behold thy mother. I find that very instructive. This ought to signify something, that there's a great influence of Bible, New Testament Christianity in the story of Christ and the gospel of Christ and the story of the death and burial and resurrection of Christ that permeates the world. Consider these other names taken from the Bible. There's Joshua, Caleb, John, James, Andrew, Timothy, Paul, Adam, Elizabeth, Rachel, Mark, Matthew, Peter, Jason, Daniel, David, Philip, Deborah, Michael, Samuel, Thomas, Stephen, Sarah, Rebecca, Joseph, Nate, Nathaniel, Zechariah, Reuben, Ruth or Ruthie, Sharon, Jesse, Ben, Benjamin, all of those names taken from the Bible. Perhaps another couple dozen that I missed. 3/4 of the world's atheists are probably walking around with some biblical name. There are two famous atheists here in America right now getting a lot of attention. One's name is Christopher Hitchens. Christopher means a Christ bearer, someone who takes Christ to others. And another man named Sam or Samuel Harris. Now, I got to tell you, it seems to me that both of those men, or each of those men, since the days they decided they were going to be atheists, until this very moment have been hypocrites for not changing their name to reflect their unbelief. No, let's just go through life with the Christian name our parents gave us. Imagine an atheist dating a letter. He dates it from the birth of Christ. And then he signs it, goodbye. You know what goodbye means? It means go with God. Or God be with ye. God be with ye is an Old English contraction. Goodbye, it means God be with ye. The Spanish word for God is Dios. Adios means go with God. Same thing in French. Adieu, go with God. And so someone writes a letter, he dates it from the birth of Christ, and then he says, I don't believe in God, signed Christopher Hitchens, goodbye. I mean, God has a sense of humor. I think he does. Fifth reason I believe that New Testament Bible Christianity must be true is because of the Golden Rule. The Golden Rule. Just about every other religion in the world has their own version of the Golden Rule. But their versions almost completely are what we would say are passive. In Judaism, they say, whatever you do not wish your neighbor to do to you, do not unto him. In Islam, they say, let none of you treat a brother the way he himself would dislike to be treated. And Confucianism, their version says, what you would not wish done to yourself, do not to others. Those are all passive. Don't get involved, don't bother them, they won't bother you. But the Christian's command is active. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Jesus said, whatsoever ye would that men should do unto you, do ye also unto them. You are to take the first step. There's no promise that they'll reciprocate and be kind to you in return, but that's nevertheless our golden rule. Our golden rule is active. Take the first step. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. If you don't see a significant difference between those, then I think you're missing a point right in front of us. James 4:17 says, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. Sin isn't just doing something that's bad. Sin is failing to do what's right when you have opportunity to do it. That's a great difference between the admonition given to a Christian and those preached by other faiths. Our standard of conduct demands more from us. The sixth reason I believe that Bible New Testament Christianity must be true is a phenomenon that I've mentioned many times is we have hymn books. We have hymn books. We have song books. And most of the other faiths of the world do not. I spoke to a woman the other day. She's a Korean woman, and she's Buddhist. And I said, and she was singing along with the radio that was playing in the store. And I said, you like to sing? And she said, yeah. And of course, she got embarrassed at that point. And I said, well, let me ask you something. Do Buddhists sing? She said, well, yeah, we sing. We have choirs. We sing, we have choir. I said, I'd like to hear it. So she said she'd loan me a CD of some Buddhist choirs singing. But I got a feeling it's probably not something I want to listen to every day. How far can you talk about, fourfold, the 4-point revelation of Buddha? How much singing can you do? How much can you write about the revelation that everybody's going to get sick at some time? It just didn't seem like something that would reach out and inspire me day after day. We have hymn books. So many other faiths do not. Now, I have a Mormon hymn book at home. I thought about bringing it for a show and tell, but I didn't bother with that. I also have a Jehovah's Witness hymn book, the Christian Science hymn book. They don't even write the names of the songs at the top of the page. They just number them. Song 1, Song 2, Song 3, Song 4. That really inspires you, right? Let's turn to page number 6. Song number 6. Never write the title. And the Jehovah's Witness hymn book, they have titles to their songs, but they don't print the name of the author. No, I guess they're afraid of any human being getting personal credit for having written something. Or maybe it's just a way of protecting the guilty. Back at the Watchtower headquarters. And it's sort of it's their attempt to duplicate what Christians have. But see, theirs has to be tightly controlled by their headquarters. Every Mormon church uses the exact same hymnal. It's published by their publishing arm, and it's tightly controlled. Every single Mormon church uses the exact same hymn book. The Mormon Tabernacle Choir sings out of the same hymn book that every other Mormon church throughout the world is using. And so that there's this sort of uniformity they think is necessary. When you're in love with someone, you want to sing about them. That's just the reaction of the human heart. There's been all kinds of songs. The basis for most popular music is love songs. Whenever I sleep, I never count sheep. I count all the charms about Linda, whoever Linda was. And but that's it. The basis for most popular music is love songs. Somebody's singing about the woman they're attracted to, or the man that she's attracted to. And Charles Wesley wrote over 5,000 hymns. Fanny Crosby wrote about 6,000 hymns. A man named Thomas Hastings wrote 1,000 hymns. He wrote Rock of Ages as one of his more famous ones. Another songwriter named Thomas Kelly wrote 700 hymns. Charlotte Elliott wrote 150 hymns. One of hers was Just As I Am. And then you have more contemporary songwriters, Jimmy Swaggart and Bill Gaither and Dottie Rambo. Those are more contemporary songwriters. Between those three people alone, you probably got 6,000 to 7,000 Christian songs written. You could lay the credit for probably 30,000 songs of praise and the gospel in music at the feet of a dozen Christian songwriters, easily. And I've got to tell you, there's a lot more than a dozen people in the world who are writing Christian songs and Christian music. Well, the seventh reason I believe that Bible New Testament, there's no phenomenon like that. I guess that's the point. Where's that phenomenon repeated? Just instinctively, intuitively. I want to sing about what excites me, what has changed my life, the way that Jesus Christ has changed it. Well, the seventh reason why I believe New Testament Bible Christianity must be true is the Bible is the only book in the world there's any real demand for. Nobody's clamoring to get a copy of Karl Marx's Manifesto or Darwin's Origin of the Species. Nobody's demanding that we get more copies of Mao Zedong's little red book in the hands of people. Those books are dead along with their authors. But if you could choose one book to keep you company for the rest of your life, you're put on a deserted island, you're put in prison for the rest of your days, and you were given a choice of one book to keep you company, which book would it be? Only a fool would choose something other than the Bible. That leads me to the next point. Point number 8. The reason I believe Christianity must be true is the way it gets under the skin and irritates those who are so opposed to it. Atheists deny all religious belief is false. They say all belief in any kind of God is wrong and is fraudulent. But they spend all their energy attacking only one belief in God. That is the gospel of Jesus Christ. They don't worry about the God of Judaism as much as they worry specifically about Jesus Christ. That men are sinners, and that only trusting in the shed blood of that one man on their behalf can ever reconcile them to